Happy Thursday, my friends. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. So, welcome back to another Fun Fold Friday. Just getting some of my blends put away here. We have this cute little triple easel card today, and I'm using smoky slate cardstock and the smoky slate stamp pad. I'm using the Hello Irresistible Designer Series paper, and I believe that's an online exclusive. You could find it online. I didn't see it in the catalog. And I'm using the dies and the stamps from the Little Dreamers bundle. Hey, do. Okay. So these sweet little animals have to be colored or just stamped and leaving them white or on colored paper. So we're going to start with the card base. And like I said, I'm using the smoky slate. And you can see when we fold down these pieces, here's the front of our card. Hey, Karen, how are you? Yeah, me too, actually. And it is warm out there. It reads 80, but the humidity is just crazy. All right, so here's the front. And if you were with me last night, I said I was going to move this little lion over to the right a little bit so it doesn't hide our elephant. All right. So to create the card base, I created a template. Just move in just a bit. So, like I said, I used the smoky slate, and it measures 8.5 by 5.25, not 5.5. Okay. And then we scored it at 4.25. So you would fold it, and then this would be the front of your card. I made a cut at the 1 3/4 mark and a cut at the 3.5 point. So what I would do is put this in at 4.25 and score. Okay. And then I would turn it, and I am going to cut it 1 3/4. Cut it right to this 4.25 mark. And you'll notice on your trimmer, if you have this trimmer, there's little lines on each side here. If you line, when you're cutting, if you line that line up right to the 4.25 mark, it'll come right up to your score line. And then we are going to move this over to 3.5, and we're going to cut it again right to that 4.25 mark. And when that is done, this is what you're left with. Okay, you have 3 panels for the front of your card. All right, now we have to score the front so we can create these easels. And you're going to start on the right hand side. Okay, and you're going to fold these 2 down so you only have this piece showing, and you're going to line up this corner and the corner down here at the score line. So if you line it up into this slot, you should get a pretty good score line. And I don't know if you notice, so we're going to score that right down. One of the online exclusives that just came out are new scoring pieces. Hello, Wyoming. Welcome, Wyoming. Okay. So now we're going to head to the second one. And again, we're starting at the outside of the card. And we're going to line it up in the slot and line it up right at the bottom corner and the score line. And we're going to score. And then we're going to do the same thing to the last piece. So we're just lining it up in that slot and scoring. So now our pieces are scored, okay? And I'll do this once I get rid of my trimmer. So we would just want to fold and burnish these pieces. And I'm just going to do that one again because it doesn't, I must not have pushed hard enough. So let's just put this in here and give it a nice score line. That looks better. Okay, now when it comes to the designer series paper, let me just, you need it 4 by 1.5. And just give me a second here. I want to cut a piece so I can show you when it comes to cutting, because I made this mistake when I was creating the card in the first place. So it's 4 by 1.5, and it's going to fit on this rectangle. But where we have a score line, we need triangles on the top and in the front. So before you get started, make sure that you remember to score it in the top right corner to the bottom left corner. If you score it the wrong way, these pieces, if you want this side of the designer series paper, they're not going to fit. So you have to cut your piece from the top right to the bottom left, okay? Just like this. And we're going to do it again. We're going to line up our corners, and then we're going to cut. So now you can see that this piece and this piece are going to go right in this section. And you're going to do it 3 times. Okay? If we had scored it the wrong way, if we went from the top left to the bottom right, it's not going to fit. Okay? Make sense? And it's even something a little bit different. You have to watch if it is patterned paper, that you need to make sure that the pattern is in the right direction. All right, so now we can fold and burnish our score lines. All right, so now here's the front, and they all have their folds on each piece. And I already did cut out my paper. So let's adhere this to the card. I'm actually glad that the my video is at 10 today, because if you remember last night, if you were with me, I have been watching the mistress and child murder trial. I'm hoping all my pieces are here. And believe it or not, the jury, there was a jury watch. They went back to deliberate late last night, probably about 8:30 Texas time. And believe it or not, by 10, oops, let me take that off. By 10:15, I think that's what time it was, they were back with a verdict, which was pretty quick. All right, so that's my first section. Now I wanted the design in the center, so let's add this piece to the center. So I'm going to just try to line it up so this edge is even. Scoot that down a little bit. And then here's my bottom piece. And so today, for the trial, it's actually a death penalty trial. So today they are going to start, excuse me, they're going to start phase 2, where they decide his fate. All right, so there's the second section. And then we're going to add our designer series paper to the third section. And that, I believe, starts at, I think the jury is coming back today at 10 Central Time. So that's 11 for us. So right after this. All right. So here is our last piece of designer series paper. Now you'll notice that when you do this score line, try to get it as close to your corners as possible so your designer series paper. Yeah, yep, you're right, the baby is involved. All right, so your designer series paper fits. So here is the front of our card. Then what I did was, and I did it ahead of time because it would be very involved, I stamped all 3 of these images with smoky slate and then die cut them with their coordinating dies. And you can see there's lots of pretty little dies. Okay. And then I grabbed a hold of the little cow and I colored him with dark basic black and light basic black. And then I used light and dark bubble bath for his nose and his ears. And I shaded him with the light smoky slate. Okay. And then the elephant, I used, let me make sure. I believe I used the gray granite. Yes. Dark and light gray granite. And bubble bath for his ear. All right, and I just colored him very simply, added some shadow. So here's our little elephant. And then the little lion, I actually colored with colored pencils. And I made him a little lighter than the original card. Okay. So I just use 3 different colored pencils for the lion, and I use pinks for the star. Okay. And then for the inside, you need something to hold these little easel flaps up. So for the cow, he's actually sleeping with a cloud. The little elephant is jumping over the moon. And then for the little lion, I stamped and colored the star. And it actually also added some Wink of Stella, and you can see right there. Just a little, just to give it some sparkle. All right. So we're going to add our little cow right here. We do not want him to go over the sides of the card because it won't fit in your envelope. So I'm just going to add some glue. And I'm going to put him as far up as I can. And you want to add glue just to the bottom of him. So when you lift this, he's not stuck to this piece here. Okay. Now we want to add, and I'm just going to check him out. I think I want to put him right here because I guess I could put him here. That's a good idea. I think we'll move him and put him in the center this time. So I'm just going to add some glue to the bottom piece, and we are going to adhere him to the center. This way he won't really interfere with the cow. And then we can get our little elephant on here. And you have to worry about his little trunk. Okay? You don't want his trunk to go over the edge. So we're just going to add some glue to the bottom of this image. Make sure his trunk stays on the card. Just like that. The pearls have retired, but I am going to grab some smaller pearls just to accent the front. Let's do it this way. We're going to put one in the corner and one right below it. And then we're going to grab one and put it in this corner. And then one right next to it. Okay, so there we have some pearls. Now for the inside, and I didn't even cut the designer series. Oh yes, I did. Here it is. I cut a piece of the designer series paper, and I believe it's a 1/2 inch. Yes, it is. And I have just one layer of basic white that measures 5 1/4 by 4. So let's just add a line of glue, and we're going to adhere this designer series paper. And if you put it up and lean it on the table and push that down, as long as this edge is straight, it will be flush with your basic white, and it should be on there evenly. And we're just going to trim that off. All right, now let's see, what did I use? Little Baby, Big Love. So we're going to grab our stamp that says Little Baby, Big Love. And I am going to line this up. Make sure that it's on here and my words are straight. I did not add my sticker to this. And I'm going to grab some Memento. Did I do it in Memento? Yes, I did. So let's just ink it up. I'm actually going to test it to make sure it's on here straight. Yep. So let's ink it up, and we're going to put our sentiment right over here. And I'm going to just Try to line it up. Just like that. All right, so there's our sentiment. Let's close this up. Now we have to add our pieces to hold up our easels. So let's just flip these over. And we're going to get those dimensionals on. And I'm going to use mini dimensionals. And I will create a PDF if you'd like to recreate this. Hopefully it'll be on my blog by this afternoon. I see a piece of fuzz. There it is. I hate that. All right, I think I got it. Nope, it's still there. I think I got it that time. All right, so let's add these mini dimensionals. Because like I said, you need dimensionals on here so it pops up off the card a little bit so it'll catch our little guys. So we're going to add some seal. I don't like adhering my inner layer with glue because sometimes you can see that glue through the basic white. So we're going to open our flaps, okay, and we are going to line this up, get it centered, just like that. All right. Now, for our little cow, we want him to rest up just about like that. And we said he is sleeping on a cloud. So we are going to adhere this cloud so it's popped up. So we'll put it right about there. Okay, so there's one easel. Our little lion has the star. So we're going to just take these off our dimensionals. And we'll add our star. That looks good. Just about there. Today we're actually waiting, believe it or not, the trash company, whatever happened, I think they're short-staffed, has not picked up our trash for 4 weeks. So we're waiting for some dumpsters to be delivered to the community. And that's what we'll be doing later, dumping our trash into the dumpster. All right, our little elephant, instead of the cow jumping over the moon, our elephant is going to jump over the moon. So I think he looks good just about there. And I am going to add this. Let's add it right about there. All right, so we have our moon, our star, and our cloud. The card, we got to make sure we close the cow first. Here's the front of our card, and then you can display it as an easel. And it's much better because now we can see the elephant, we can see the cow, and we can see our little lion. All right? Yeah, it is a thrill. Yes, we will be careful. Don't worry, Joe. All right. So there is our Fun Fold Friday. And again, I'll have pictures and I will add the template to my blog post so you know how to cut it. And you'll be able to create one of these cards yourself. So see, now you can see all the images, where on this one, the poor little elephant, he's hidden. So I think that worked out much, much better. So, thanks for joining me today. I hope you all stay cool. Have a great rest of your day. And I will talk to everybody soon. Thanks, Stu. You're welcome, Karen. Have a great day, honey. Stay cool out there. Bye-bye.